used to be a kind of a bookworm during my high school years. Our literature professor used to give us one book to read a month, and that led me to discover the magic of books. So I used to read a lot, and I really miss it. One goal I set for myself this year was to try and read more, because I really miss it. I consider myself creative type of person, since I really like to read that much and like immerse myself in the world of the book I was reading. I've decided to pick up that hobby again, since it's a really good hobby, and try to put like my phone away, my computer away, and try and read more, well, especially before going to bed. And what a better time to do that than now, when we cannot go outside, we just have to stay home. And so let's read some. I've been really busy with my room, so I started reading back a couple of days ago. And what I have planned is to do like a book recap each month, or every like 2 months, depends on how many books I'm going to read on the period of time. So I think if I'm going to read 3 books, I'll do a monthly like book recap, while if I read just 2 books, I'll just postpone it. So I've decided to come today with the books I've read during February and March. Though March is like, right now March, I think it's the 29th of March, and I'm currently reading a book that I haven't finished, but I shall finish like today or tomorrow, so it's fine. And since I only read 2 books, I'm going to add the ones that I've read also in February. I'm going to start with the books I've read in March, and the ones that I've fully read are 2, and then I'm still like reading this other one, and I'll start with that one. So since I live in Italy, the titles are in Italian, but I've tried to find the titles of the books like in English too. So the book that I'm reading right now, it's in Italian it's called Il Circolo delle Invincibili Sognatrici, and it translates with like the name in Spanish, because the author is a Spanish woman. It's Ana B. Nieto, and the original title is El Club de las 50 Palabras, and in English it should be The Club of the 50 Words. It's 227 pages, and I'm really liking this so far. I've cried a lot. It's quite like it's quite a very sweet book. It talks about this kid who lives with only his mother in Spain, and I don't want to say too much about it, because it all happens during the first 50 pages, like the main event, so I don't want to spoil it, but it's really well written. I'd say that, yeah, it goes on like really well. It's really elegant, quite visual as well. Like I can see the things that she writes. Yeah, I've cried. I cry every time I read this. It's a really good book. I really suggest it. I can't wait to finish it. I'm on page 141, so I only have like 90 pages left, even less, 80 pages. And so yeah, I'll probably finish it today. And yeah, I really suggest this one. It's really good. It's, The Club of the 50 Words by Ana B. Nieto. So another book I've read, it's this one by, I hope I pronounced it correctly, Ursula Le Guin, I think is how you pronounce it. It's a Wizard of Earthsea, kind of hard for me to say, Earthsea, and it's a fantasy type of book. The pages are 248, and I actually picked this up after seeing one of Sam Bean Jess videos, because she also does monthly books review. I'm absolutely glad I picked this up. It's really good. I already have the second chapter, like the second book, and it's going to be one of the next books I'm going to read. And so yeah, it's a fantasy novel, talking about like Jed, how he grows up to be a mage, basically. And uh, the main plot twist happens quite a few pages in, but I mean, I read it in like one day or something like that, 1 day and a half, because it's so easy to read. It's so immersive. You don't get lost in like details. It's a so worth reading, like really. So if you read this, you probably maybe understand what I'm talking about. There was a scene in that broke my heart. I won't say anything else. Hopefully you'll understand. Probably not because it's not really. I'm not really saying that good, but I really like this one. The Wizard of Earthsea is the first one out of I think 3 or 4 books. So yeah, amazing. Read this like in no time. Highly recommend. Thank you, Sunbeam, Jess. I loved it. So the next book, I don't have it with me right now because I lent that to my mother. She actually gifted to me for Christmas, and it's an essay kind of book, really short, 85 pages, and the name is The Seeds of Pandora by Eva Cantarella. Although I don't think it's available in English because I've tried to find it, but I couldn't. But it was like an essay about gender discrimination in Greece, all Greece, and Greece, like the country. So it was quite interesting because we tend to see, especially I think in Europe, we tend to see Greece as like society that build democracy, republic. So we tend to idolize it, and it was nice to see the history of the gender discrimination that started there. Yeah, I think you should like take a look, like try and find something that can talk about the same topic in English too. Really quick read, 85 pages. Although essays are not really my cup of tea. I prefer novels and narrative. So these were the 3 books that I've read in March, and now I'm going to go with the books I've read in February. The first book I've read was by Daniel Pennac, a French author. You probably know him. Yeah, he is a really famous writer. So the name of the novel in English, it's The Law of a Dreamer, and it's heavily inspired by Fellini's work, because Fellini used to like write down the dreams. Yeah, anyway, Fellini used to write down the dreams he would have during the night, and like also illustrate them. This book is quite interesting. I wouldn't say it's like one of my favorite books, but it's really easy to read. Very Daniel Pennac type of style. There are lots of like lists. He goes on to write things. I mean, if you know Pennac, if you read this book, you'll understand what I mean. And but it was quite interesting. Lots of like kind of plot twists, but not really plot twists. And until the last pages, you'd like left wondering if your read was real or not. But it was like, yeah, I said interesting. Like this one was really like visual, as you would see the stuff it would write in the pages. And so yeah, if you're looking for an easy type of read, I'd suggest this one. The Law of the Dreamer, and it's also like very small, and the chapters sometimes are also just like one page, so really a really quick read, and it's 151 pages, so a very small book. Another small book that I read for February, also this one, you can read it, as you see, it's quite small. It's 198 pages. Also, the chapters are quite small with this one. It's called History of a Flower. Hopefully you'll find the English version of it. It's called Claudia Casanova, and I think the author is actually Spanish. Yeah, she's from Barcelona. I mean, I would suggest every book I've read. None of them was bad, but this one was, I mean, it's kind of, I wouldn't say shallow. It's the story of this girl who really loves botanic. Like at the end of the 1800s. I think she could have gone like, I think the book could have gone like a bit deeper in the characters' feelings and thoughts, and I don't know, I think sometimes it's kind of rushed. Yeah, also this one, if you want to read something easy, it's fine, but definitely was my least favorite book I've read during these 2 months. No, just 1 second, people wants to enter the room. So we have a little friend with us today. Again. People. People. Ciao, people. Oops. So yeah, as I was saying, this was my least favorite one, but it's not that I didn't like it. It's just that, I don't know, it was fine, I guess. And the last book I'm going to talk about today is my favorite from February, and it's called The Fun Box at the End of the World by Laura Imai Messina. It's hard, how do you say, hardback type of book, but this was what was a bit longer. Was 237 pages. It's set in a still narrative. It's set in Japan, so I kind of like this one, though it kind of reminded me of the style of Banana Yoshimoto, one of my favorite authors, but it was really nice, really nice read, quite like sweet sometimes. It talks about a fun box that there is in Japan for people who have lost their loved ones. Our protagonist, she goes there to talk with, this is not a spoiler because it's like described in the first few pages of the book. She goes there because she has lost her mother and her daughter in the 2011 Japanese tsunami, and it's kind of a real story. I mean, there is this fun box in Japan, where people actually go to kind of talk with the dead loved ones, and I found this in the recommended section of Amazon. I really liked it. I actually cried in the end, and it's a really sweet book, really easy to read. Suggest this one. So the Fun Box at the Edge of the World by Laura Imai Messina. These were the books that I've read during February and March, and I'm going to probably do this like every month, every 2 months. And so yeah, I'm going to do like also a monthly book club with the books that I'm going to read in a month, or at least that I hope I'm going to read in a month. Also to have myself to continue this New Year resolution of reading more books. So yeah, stick around for that video. I'm going to record it now after I've done with this one. I hope I'll see you soon, and thank you so much for sticking around, and bye bye.